Well, welcome to the Top Gun Show. Today I'd like to welcome Mike Olson, the Senior Vice President of Sales at Consolidated Communications, the sponsor of the Top Gun Show. Mike is an industry veteran with nearly 30 years in the business, from business startups to GM roles to the last 28 years at Consolidated. Mike has produced amazing business and regional growth in existing and emerging markets. He is an example of a true sales leader. Mike, welcome to the Top Gun Show.
Thanks for having me, Steve.
Nice to have you on. There's not too many people that have been 28 years at one company. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you, sir. That's crazy.
Pretty
Been a
amazing.
past 28 years, too.
Probably just flew by, didn't it?
It has. It has.
Well, tell us a little bit about Consolidated Communications. What services do you sell, to whom, and in what geographical areas?
Absolutely. Yeah. Consolidated Communications is actually 127 years old. Started as a local telephone company based in Mattoon, Illinois, which is still actually our corporate headquarters today. And really has evolved, especially the last 20 years, through not only organic growth, but acquisition of regional companies throughout the country, border to border. And really, traditional voice, traditional data, traditional internet is still, part of our core portfolio. But, fiber connectivity, and then really, especially the last 5 years, is moved towards advanced services, managed IT, cloud, whatever you want to call it, is really our lead products and services that we provide. So it's really evolved, and over those 127 years, but especially even the 28 I've been here, it's hard to believe how it's evolved from traditional voice to everything is data these days. And as part of the acquisition, we service 23 states, and which is where we have fiber assets in place. However, we can really serve anybody throughout the country through our partners, which are also our competitors, but we sell services back and forth between our competitors to provide tail circuits to customers that maybe aren't in those 23 states. So yeah, tremendous growth story, especially the last 25 years.
So you waited 99, wait for it to be 99 years old. Then you said, I think I want to join this company. I love it.
There you go. They should be proven by then, right?
That's funny. That's funny. Well, it's a really competitive space that you're in. Why does Consolidated continue to gain market share?
Yeah, it's I think the acquisitions that I referred to earlier have been very smart acquisitions. These were very successful regional companies that really made the curve and were really growing and really had a commercial focus, even if they had a residential segment, and great assets with people that came with that. And, 28 years is a long time, but when I look at the 4,000 employees throughout the country, there's a lot of 15, 20, 25-year tenured people within the company. So the culture's good, the people have stayed. And the part that I appreciate the most about Consolidated, besides their corporate citizenship, which was very important to the company that I worked for prior, but is they've really kept the local market approach. So we have sales offices in almost all of our markets, where we have salespeople, our sales engineer, our sales enablement people, engineering, outside plant. So our customers, where they maybe have swung one way or the other, when it comes down to it, they really like that local approach. And especially now when we're starting to do face-to-face meetings again, where we can bring our engineers out face-to-face in their conference rooms in their business and whiteboard with them. We're big, but we're not one of the biggest boys where we set you in a box. We will be creative and do that whiteboarding session. And so really keeping that local regional approach, even though we are a large company, has really been a competitive differentiator for us.
Yeah, face-to-face is never going out of style. I mean, no. I got to say, when we went to the channel partners in Vegas, I probably enjoyed my meeting with you and your executive leadership team as well as anybody. I mean, you guys are personable, you're knowledgeable, you're aggressively going after the market. You're actually fun to do business with. So I've experienced what you're saying. That's great. That's great. Well, what's the one call to action that you want the viewers of this episode to do?
I think my call to action would be is if you haven't looked at cloud, advanced services, managed IT, whatever it's called, those names keep changing. I would highly encourage you to do so. You know, the pandemic really brought that forward really quick for a lot of people. For those companies like us that had already deployed managed IT or cloud, they were able to relocate home in a matter of a day or two. And then part two of that story is you just can't do it yourself anymore. You don't have the IT resources. It's very, very expensive, especially security, which is at the forefront of the news every day, and people getting hit with ransomware and those type of things. Where companies like us buy an enterprise security offering, but then don't charge that enterprise price because all of the customers share in that cost. So that would be my big call to action, is to really look at cloud, outsourcing some of your IT services, because it will make your business more efficient, more cost efficient, and more productive, and allow you to compete better in what you do.
Yeah, great answer. I love that's a great synopsis of why everyone's going to the cloud. It needs to. Good, great answer. Hey, well, Mike, I know you're a big fan of the Top Gun show, and then I know there are millions and millions of people watching you right now. Why don't you tell the viewers a fun little known fact about yourself?
Absolutely. Well, I'm a pretty transparent person, so most people know a lot about me, but I love living in Minnesota, even though I grew up in Iowa, because of the lakes. It's my Mike time and where I can relax. And April to October, it's some of the nicest weather in the country. I'm a huge Iowa Hawkeye fan growing up there, and excited to go down to Indy and watch them in the Big Ten championship game. But probably a fun fact that very few know about me is I used to be a pretty avid singer the first 30 years of my life, and I was actually Curly in high school, Curly in the musical Oklahoma. So, but my singing career is over. I'll stick to our industry here today.
Well, that's a great story. You know, enjoy the Hawkeye game. Actually, when this airs, the Hawkeye game will be yesterday. So congratulations on the win.
Awesome, thank you.
Well, Mike, thanks for being a guest on the Top Gun Show. Tune in next week to hear from Travis Graham, the VP of Commercial and Carrier Products, for a deeper dive into Consolidated Communications. Mike, thanks for being on the show.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks for watching, everybody.